search is influencing who gets considered and shortlisted before a buyer even visits a website. So how do you optimize for influence that you can't yet measure?
That's a great question. I think everybody has it on its mind, I guess. And we had a wonderful session this morning about AI, but I'll repeat what I said in the morning. AI is not a click story. It is a revenue story. We have to understand that. I've seen so many marketers, including myself, looking at optimizing it by SEO. It's not an SEO game. It's a trust game. It's a trust project. You have to really focus your energy there. One of the most beautiful things that I heard in the morning conversation is the pivotal shift that is required to win the AEO, GEO, and AI search space is actually shifting from that mindset of optimization to information architecture. That is what is really needed today, where you're creating content not for just humans, but also for the machines. Those machines need to understand who you are, what do you do, what do you sell, to even promote it out to person who are prompting those ChatGPTs and Geminis of the world on what product they're looking for. How are you touching upon those customer pain points to actually go around with it as well? I think there were 10 great steps we saw this morning, but I'll quickly touch upon a few things, which is very important, is just structured data. You have to get your technical SEO in place that allows the engines to run and understand what your product, what your page is all about. Again, it's not as simple as just running, hey, there's a location, there is a phone number, or there's an email. There's more to it. This whole structure of that page, even if it's long, I've seen pages as long as 4,000 words or 4,000 characters sometimes. That's not really going to drive you the AI value. People are looking for answers. It's a simple thing, zero click. It's a term that we all have been hearing for the last 6 years. Google did it. Everybody else is doing it. I think we have to win that race by getting that influence. We know this customer journey is not linear. So why only focus AI search on the top of the funnel? Why not at the bottom of the funnel? Why not use comparison pages to actually drive your customers to say, hey, why are we better than my competitors, right? The last thing I'll talk about, and this is my statement, which is a 5-star reputation is more worth than a first page ranking on Google today. This is the truth today. And I'll be honest with you, because that reputation is what's being considered today by all these AI engines to do the recommendation. They're recommendation engines. There's still the verification loop that's today required by users who go to Google and verify this information, go to your brands, go to TikToks of the world and all the YouTube shots of the world to understand what your product is. Again, I understand this is more B2C, but there's things on B2B that you could do at the same time too. We talked about one thing, and I want you guys to take this away because it's something that I've done in my practical world for the last 2 years. I've been focused on AEO and AIO and things of those nature. Is number one, while there is no yardstick to measure that influence, there are a few things you can do today. We did capture server log data to understand which AI engine is coming to our website, what time of the day, how many times in a day, what's that frequency in a week, to help us understand what content they're digesting and injecting into search queries. We went into all the different AI engines and understood what content is being presented for those search queries. And I'm using the word search queries, but it's prompts, ideally, right? We analyzed it through various tools, whether it's SEMrush, Answer the Public, SimilarWeb, and understood what is the intent that people are looking for. That helped us shape our entire content strategy. Derek talked about unique content. Here's a great idea. Here's what we did. When we actually got that server log data and done a whole lot of research on our AI engines, we actually understood what's the information, what's the content we need to actually even put on our pages in the first place, based on that intent, right? The other thing which I would talk about is we did a correlation data analysis. I'm a data guy, so you guys have to bear with me on my technical things here. But we actually correlated brand searches, improvements in sentiments, ratings, reviews, traffic, lead conversions, and actually understood a mapping to help us understand that every time our sentiments went up, did it actually get us more brand searches in there? Because that's the verification loop that we're getting from Google today, right? We have 6,000 locations in the United States. Every location either has a 5-star rating or a 1-star rating. But we know how that is actually influencing us getting that acquisition from an influence standpoint. So I think there's a lot of stuff which I can go on and on, but these are some practical things I want this team to take home and see if this is going to work for you as companies.
That's great. Derek, Courtney, do you have anything to add to that?
I think Ash covered it.
Great. Well, let's move from AI to more data-driven decisions. And Ash, you said you're a data guy, right? So first question goes to you. You said that teams are rich in data, but poor in insights. What's the difference in practice? And what does it actually take to move from reporting what happened to understanding what the customer is actually signaling?
You made a good statement, rich in data, poor insights. Raise your hands, how many of you guys actually see that in your companies? How many of you guys have QBRs that just have data? This is the challenge, right? A lot of times we look at data because we love to look at data. Data is a backward story. It's telling you what happened. You got to derive insights that's going to tell you what is going to happen. How do you frame the future? How do we go after what is the customer signaling, right? I use this phrase and I mean it, which is insight should be telling you what the customer's trying to tell you. Right? If that's not what you're getting to, it's not worth it. All those 2 hours of QBRs, revenue review meetings, are useless because you're not really looking at what that customer's really trying to tell you. Right? How do we get that? It requires a cultural shift. I'll tell you this with my own experiences. I have a team that I've managed large teams, 24 people in my team, but not everybody's same. All they report in and say, hey, you know what? With the same amount of spend, we got 5% more leads through paid activities. I'm like, that's awesome, but did it impact our organic leads coming in? Yes, it was 22% down. All right, that's a deficit. All right? So it's very important for us to understand that story. I'll give another example. We are 6,000 locations. We need people to drive into the stores to install this device. One fine day, we realized that, hey, our net conversions are down for that week. What's going on? And we didn't realize that there was a winter storm coming into the United States. Now we have data that captures weather to our conversion data, and that's by zip code. So think about every single zip code in America that we're using to analyze and predict, hey, if the weather's gonna be bad, historical data tells us this is not a place where you wanna spend your dollars. It is not gonna give you the ROI. Save it for another day, right? So there's a lot of that story. I think this combines a lot of quantitative and qualitative signals that is very important for us as marketing leaders, CMOs, VPs of marketing. Again, I'm just using titles, but we're all leaders here in the room. And we really need to understand how do we use this data at a cross-functional level. It is, marketing is at the center of the entire universe within the organizations. The data that we have, the insights that we can curate are not only useful for us, but it's also useful for sales. It's also useful for product. Trust me, it's even useful for operations team too. My telephony team, who manages roughly around 7,000 phone numbers, asked me for data. And having said that, I want to give you, again, 2 take-homes that we had done in our organizations, right? Number one, we implemented an AI tool that will listen to our sales calls. It will segment out every customer that we are talking to in different buckets. I'm not going to go in there in details, but it will segment that out. It helped the sales team to understand how should they be talking and constantly improving their pitch based on that customer category. But you know what it really helped me, to what Derek just pointed out? It helped us get unique content by listening to those phone calls. AI actually made recommendations. These are the friction points that your customers are facing to buy something from you today. And that really helped us get unique content out there. I want to add one additional point here, and maybe I'm going too much on this, but we as SEO are always trained, and I say this because I started my career with SEO, hey, get the highest search volume keyword, go target them. Let me tell you that's not going to work with AI. AI is looking for that uniqueness. With AI, get anything and everything that's first-hand content, follow the EEAT framework. The first E in the EEAT framework from Google is expertise. Even if there's no search volume for that particular intent, it will come one day, and it's what you're basically doing with that is signaling the AI bots, engines, and even Google now, saying that we have content that nobody else has, and that value doesn't stay at a page level, it goes to a domain level. That's where your authority starts coming in. I'll give you one last example to take home. Abandoned carts. How many of you guys have abandoned cart emails going on lifecycle? Oh, none? Are you kidding me? Come on. All right. What do people do normally when they do an abandoned cart email? Maybe give a promo, 10% off. Mm-hmm. blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Is it a blanket email or is it personalized, customized, based on a lot of factors? Anybody? Say it again. Yeah. So here's my story. What we did was we actually used USPS data on zip code to identify average household income in that region and customize the entire thing based on the history of that user to go back with the abandoned cart emails. We didn't give them the 20% off because we know they live in a high net income value zip code. Let's give them something that they would want to try. Give them a freemium. A lot of that analysis based on data actually helped us understand how do we go after that, and that's exactly what we're looking at, right? A customer-led CMO or customer-led organization that helps customer shape how we do our marketing.